Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is JB, and we are talking to Mary here. Um, she was in an abusive relationship for how long?
23 years.
23 years. She was in an abusive relationship. And she just wants to share her story a little bit. So we're going to question her, we're going to hit her with some tough questions, so you know how we do. So, Mary, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Mary. I was in an abusive relationship, like JB said, for 23 years. A little about me, I started the relationship when I
No,
was.
no, no, your personal life. Like, what do you do for a living? You got
Oh, okay.
kids, grandkids, stuff like that.
I'm in healthcare.
Okay.
I have one child, 25. She's not a child, she's a young adult.
Hmm.
Um, that's it, healthcare.
Family life, you brothers, sisters,
I
everything
have
good?
two sisters, one half sister. She's not really my sister, but I consider her my sister.
Okay, okay. You guys close? Close
Yes.
knit? Okay. That's always good. It's always good. Okay. So, your abuser. Now, I'm knowing that in the midst of it, you probably couldn't see it as abuse. But looking back now, we know that it was definitely abuse. How did you meet him? Or her? I don't know what your sexual preference is.
Okay. Him.
Him. Okay,
Him.
him.
I met subject A
Okay.
when I was exiting a physical abusive relationship.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I was working at a hospital doing housekeeping, and I guess I would come in looking sad or like, I don't know. He said I look unsure.
Oh, so y'all worked at the same place?
Yeah, I
Okay.
would come in clean and then he would just watch me down the hall and
Okay.
just kind of watch me. And that's how I met him.
Okay. Okay. So he started flirting with you, or
He watched me for a while, then he started just making small talk, like conversation. Hey, how you doing? How's it going? And it just went on for probably a few months.
okay? Now, did you think anything of it, or was you just like, oh, somebody's paying me attention? What was
I
going through your
didn't
mind?
think anything of it because it was more of a friendship type thing first. It was just like, he was just like, because he knew I had just come out of an abusive relationship, and he would just tell me like, oh, you don't need that. You need to get away and this and that. And it was just, he started out very like comforting, like just
Mm-hmm.
telling me all the things I needed to hear. And at that time, like I just turned 21, so
Okay, so you still a baby.
yes.
Okay, so not to cut you off, but let's go back a little bit. You were in an abusive, physically abusive relationship,
Yes.
and somehow you managed to get out of that alive. So kudos
Yes.
to you for that.
Thanks.
You survived that. You were a survivor. So you make sure you give yourself props for that. Okay. All right. So he was comforting you, making you feel good about it.
Right. He was telling me like, you can leave this. You ain't gotta live like this. And so probably with him telling me that, this probably. See, I started at that hospital in June. By August 1st, I had left my physical abuser, and
Mm-hmm.
then by October 1st, I was in my first apartment.
Okay.
So that's how fast things were. Like, he was like encouraging me and telling me like, you can do it. I'm
Okay.
here and this and that.
Just telling you what you need to do, and that's understandable. Okay. So at this point, he's feeling your head up. Did he make the initial move, or did you make the initial move?
He made the initial move because during that time, my self-esteem was shot.
Uh huh.
Like, I'm coming from an abusive relationship where I like getting hit on, and I would never look people in the eye. I always looked down. So
Mm-hmm.
I did not make the first move. It was him.
Okay. Okay. Now he like ask you out on a date, or what? What was it?
He just would flirt with me after a while and just tell me that I was cute or pretty and things like that, and uh,
And that was good for your self esteem.
that was good for my self-esteem. And then I don't I don't remember a first date.
Okay. 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 So okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. Y'all been on a couple dates, few dates, and how does the relationship progress over the months and then over the years? How does it
Um,
progress?
okay, so I met him that June. By October 1st, I was in my own apartment. And I remember all I had was a rollaway bed and a bag of clothes. It progressed because I think at that time we had started sleeping together, but we were going to a hotel.
Okay.
And I think it was more like, you need to hurry up and get your own place, because we can't keep going to a hotel.
Okay. Well, why can you go to his place?
We never questioned it.
You never questioned
I
it.
never
Okay.
questioned it. So it was like, August 1st was when everything shifted. And then 2 months later, October 1st, I was in my own apartment. I ain't have anything. I just had, like, because I just left an abusive relationship. I just had a rollaway bed and a bag of clothes and a 3-year-old child. That was it.
But you had your own spot.
I had my own
Okay.
spot.
Okay. And then, so you guys started sleeping together in hotels.
That was, hotels was leading up until I got my own place.
Okay.
That was it.
Okay.
So it progressed into a relationship because during that time, like, I had just left my daughter's father, and he was refusing to take care of her because I left him. So at that point, I was struggling, like, because all I had was a housekeeping job, so I had to make ends meet somehow. So I picked up a part-time job, but I still couldn't make ends meet, like, between paying daycare fees and rent and all of that. It was like I was sinking. So he was there. It was like he was like, "Oh, I got your back. I'll make sure everything's straight." Like,
Okay. So he was helping you financially?
yes.
Okay. Okay.
Like, he would, like, give me money here and there, or be like, here's Sam's daycare fees, or here's money for you to go to the grocery store and things like that.
Okay.
So that's how, I think that's how, I would say that's how he built trust. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. He wooed you. He wooed you. Okay. So, fast one. When did you notice the abuse start, or did you even recognize it as abuse? But looking back now, when would you say the abuse started? Because back then you probably couldn't recognize it, but looking back now, when would you say it started? And what was it? That's a two-part question. Like, what were the first things he did?
I noticed the abuse it was probably like years later. It was like maybe 10 years later.
10 years. Okay.
Yeah, like maybe after that, because like in the beginning I was so self-conscious and insecure about me because of everything I had went through. I dressed a certain type of way. I wore my hair a certain, like, to not draw attention to me. I dressed down, like I didn't want nobody looking at me. So then when I started to get like a little confidence about myself, and then I started like stepping out of my comfort zone and started doing things like that made me happy, he started questioning it. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you wearing this? Why do you have this on?
He started questioning why you're dressing a little better. So he liked the
dowdy look and
okay, the homely look.
Yes.
Because he wanted you for himself. He didn't want nobody else looking at you.
Yeah, so that was probably 10 years in, because I started changing, but then I started like questioning, like, why can't we do these things? Like, why can't, like, it would be stuff like, why do I only see you at night? Like, or why do I only see you at work?
Okay. Okay.
And then it was like, why do you need a key to my house so you can come over when you want to?
Whenever.
Right.
So had you ever been to his house?
No. I knew where he lived, but I never stepped foot in his house.
And you never questioned that?
I never tried.
You never cared to, or?
It wasn't, I never cared to until, we gonna say, like, maybe 20 years later.
Oh, okay. Wow, okay. Well, we're going to pause here, and then we'll be back for part 2, because we don't want these clips to go too long. So we'll pause, and we'll be back with Mary.